The purpose of the meeting for the public to present points of view with respect to the topic. And it is not a debate, not a press conference. The composition of the committee is not at issue, and remarks with respect to the composition of the committee will be ruled out of order. I would like you to confine your remarks to the consideration of the topic in hand. Without any further ado, start. And the first presenter. First speaker is Therrien.
Thank you. My name is Francois Therrien. I apologize for my. Is it okay for the? Yeah. The title of my speech would be Safety Cut 10, letter 6, for protection of the population based on the use of wireless 10 years. We require a revised Canadian safety code based on internationally recognized scientific evidence based on 10 years of use and exposure rather than 6 minutes of exposure of the safety code 6 currently used by Health Canada. Mr. the President, the collective SOMO is involved since 2008 in this field to promote the precautionary principle to the public regarding the adverse health effect caused by microwave from wireless device. After various civic action, letter, demonstration, and petition from us, the Direction of Public Health of the Province of Quebec has examined the issue, and after 2 years of study, it had to conform to Health Canada position with the Safety Code 6 standard. We also informed all the federal political parties, and they have agreed to consider the issue in the Standing Committee on Health of the House of Commons in 2010. Examination of the health effect of microwave communication without wireless on April and October 2000. During this hearing, the SOMO, the collective Sauvons nos enfants Micron, organized the testify of 5 international scientists who presented their research questioning the validity of the Safety Code 6 to protect the population. Written by the 11 deputies, the final report contained 5 recommendations, including the setup of a register of persons affected by electrosensitive wireless device, and an awareness program for the safe use of equipment. It was in December 2010. In December 13, 2012, except for the Conservative MP forming the present government, all other members of the Parliament of political parties vote for a right of refusal given to municipalities in Canada during the setting up of telecommunication relay antennas on their territory. This bill originates from fears of citizens from their health in front of the exponential growing exposure resulting from microwave relay antennas. Safety Code 6 is based on a temperature rise of human to see after a microwave exposure of 6 minutes, and this standard, intentionally recognized, was used before the use by the general public of wireless communication technology. We wish for the safety of Canadians another safety standard based on an almost permanent exposure of 10 years, and at the level of exposure of wireless communication device radiating in a permanent way, as a cell tower and Wi-Fi, and occasionally as a cell and a cordless phone. The development of a security code 10 years for the microwave does not come from science fiction. For several years, international and independent scientific authorities have identified the accepted scientific research which will allow to develop this new standard. Many countries and several cities have established standards of protection of the population far below Safety Code 6. Number one, there is mainly the report of the International Agency of Research of Cancer, composed by 31 international scientific specialists classifying exposure to microwave device wireless communication as a probable and credible source of cancer. This comprehensive study, published in 2011 of the scientific literature on the specific and limited purpose of cancer, is unprecedented and has become a reference for the protection of the public health. You should not only take note of the conclusion, but also consult and take into account the recognized research having led to this result. The second one is the conclusion of the international agency. Add to the credibility of other international reports from internationally recognized scientific researchers who also report adverse health effects. The best known are the Bio-Initiative scientific report of 2007 and 2012, with thousands of studies in each report and 30 international researchers. For the first time, a Canadian team of doctors and researchers of the Department of Medicine of University McGill signed a complete chapter of the 2012 report describing research explaining a causal mechanism effect on health from a very low exposure to magnetic field similar to those of wireless technology. It's on the Dr. Paul Therrien. These Bio-Initiative reports are criticized for their purpose. Highlight scientifically proven adverse effects, biological effect on health. This refusal to legitimate these reports by industrial does not change the fact that the thousands of research show many adverse health effects. You must stop using the weight of evidence used to maintain the current standard that allow development without any constraint for the benefit of the telecommunication industry, and recognize the necessity to protect human health from the microwave adverse effects. The committee mandate is to protect human health and not to maintain industry business communication. Number three, radiation from relay antennas and adverse health effects. An American, Dr. Henry Lai, published a comprehensive review of 60 scientific studies of the health of population living around the telephone relay antenna site. It found significant increase in adverse health effects as various as headache, sleep disturbance, concentration, as far as increased risk of cancer for those living close to relay antenna sites. The findings were to move away the relay antenna set from residential neighborhoods and provide maximum exposure radiation. It was published by the National Research Press Review, and it was written with Blake Levitt too. And an extract of this report is, we cannot really continue to deny symptoms that are reported in good faith. These observations now cover a period of 50 years. It is no longer whether the symptoms are psychosomatic, making this insult to doctors and citizens who report it. The only question is to establish exposure standard. The committee should be aware of this review and refer to significant research mentioned to justify the conclusion. Number four, the testimony of 6 scientific experts who testified for the collective SEMO in front of the Standing Committee of Health in Ottawa in 2010 convinced the MPs on the Health Committee it is about testimony of the following scientists: Dr. Ollie Johansson, Dimitri Panagopoulos, Annie Sasko, Andrew Goldsworthy, Martin Blank, who will be a speaker later today, and Magda Havas from Canada. A consultation of their testimony, research, and documents supplied to the committee are relevant for this committee. Electrosensitivity is a reality recognized by the environmental medicine today and awaiting another study of the biological mechanism causing these adverse health effects. Only the reduction of radiation exposure and rest period without electromagnetic exposure can relieve the numerous symptoms listed in the electrosensitivity. Pending the development of the Security 10 Years Code, standard regarding exposure to microwave, the committee should recommend the immediate application of the precautionary principle in terms of residential neighborhood exposure. The precautionary principle should have 2 components. First one, should be the reduction by the industry under voluntary or regulatory constraint of the permanent and involuntary exposure level of residential neighborhood by changing the level of radiation from relay antenna. We talk about distance and intensity, and about the Wi-Fi router with a switch and intensity. Second one, the letter must be security advice of use to reduce individual exposure to voluntary measure as recommended by the Standing Committee on Health on this report in December 2010. The level of maximum radiation exposure for residential neighborhood that the committee should suggest immediately to Health Canada actually is the 0.6 volt per night, as recommended by the Report Bio Initiative 2002 report and the European Parliament on the 28th of May 2011. And that is currently applied in the city in Paris. You are scientists, and the committee call you to know, you are scientists, and the committee call to you for your knowledge and scientific experience. But unfortunately, the problem of health effect is actually more economic than scientific. Telecommunication companies and government are making fortune with this recent technology still growing. The Bloc Québécois MP, Serge Cardin, who became a member of the PQ last year, testified in front of the Standing Committee of Health twice that his brain was affected even before the ringing preceding a cell call. It's about the intense electromagnetic impulse preceding the bell. He wished that the industry take into account voluntary